Hello, I'm Mike Russell from musicradiocreative.com. In this video, I'll show you around my brand new Pro Podcast presets version 3.0 for Adobe Audition. So here we are in the multi-track of Adobe Audition with the Pro Podcast presets version 3.0. First thing you'll notice, a lot of clutter gone and just 2 tracks. So you can record one host or 2 hosts with ease and not worry about anything else. That was one of the biggest bits of feedback I got on version 2.0. There are so many tracks, I just want to record a couple of guests. Well, now you can. But then many of you will say, well, I miss the music track and the sound effects track and everything else, all those fixed tracks to fix echo and background noise. Don't worry, they haven't gone anywhere, and I'll show you how to access them. So first of all, this is the default view, but if you hit Shift and 2 on your keyboard, it will pop open the fixed tracks for echo, background noise, fan noise, internal microphones. That's a new track, by the way. Yes, if you record something by mistake on an internal mic, drag it into the fixed internal mic track, and it will make it sound better and remove and eliminate any background noise from your computer. So that's handy. Shift and 3, and you get 1, 2, 3 host tracks for recording 3 people on your podcast. Shift and 4 will bring you up 1, 2, 3, 4 tracks for up to 4 hosts on your podcast. And finally, Shift and 5, all the bells and whistles. You've got 5 podcast host tracks. You've also got some specific mic tracks I'll talk about later. Yes, specific tracks to make specific podcast microphones sound better. Your fixed tracks, Zoom call track, Skype call track to make those sound better, intro and outro track, podcast music track that automatically ducks whenever someone is speaking, which is a really cool feature, and podcast sound effects as well. It's all there. But let's return back to the default view and start with ease. Now, we can use these presets to record our podcast. You simply select your audio interface from this right-hand pointing arrow on each track. Analog 1 for my microphone 1 and analog 2 for microphone 2. This might vary depending on the audio interface you're using, but that's what I need. Then click the record buttons. This is my main mic. That's the mic over the other side of the room. You can see it's just picking me up. And then hit record. Hello, this is Mike Russell with a test podcast in the Pro Podcast presets version 3.0. Okay, you can see it recorded me, and if I had a guess, that would be track 2. Let's get rid of track 2. Disarm these tracks now, double click to go into the waveform, and the thing I recommend you do before you put anything into the Pro Podcast presets or after recording is go into favorites, normalize to -0.1 dB, boom, make it nice and loud so then the presets can work at their best. Let's listen. Hello, this is Mike Russell with a test podcast. Okay, that's me processed, and this is me. Hello, this is Mike Russell with a test podcast. This is me raw, so you can hear it's boosting the crispness, the clarity, all the good stuff in the voice so it can be clearly heard. And this is clearly apparent if we drag in one of these podcast examples like this. Peaks here, loud speech here, and it goes quiet and it tails off here. So if we listen.
Before we get into the nuts and bolts of the business, how did you get started off in e-commerce in the first place?
Mix it down and look at that. This is how our waveform looks. This makes it louder, easier to hear, so if your listener is in the gym, on a run, or maybe doing something else with a lot of noise going on around them, your voice will not get drowned out when you go really quiet and they're having to turn up their headphones or their device to be able to hear you. So a really cool feature there. Another thing you can do is go ahead and drag in 2 people, so a host on one track and a guest on another track. This will not only process the voice and make it sound better, but also you can combat things like this. Let's play this.
And we're often number 1 and Evil A.
Oh, hang on. Let's listen to this little bit in particular. You can see a lot of background noise going on there, which is not so great.
That's number 1.
But you can see, and the levels are all over the place. That's
number 1.
This is here, and
number 1 and Evil A.
This is down here. So how do we sort that out? Well, to get the levels correct, you can switch on speech volume leveler on each host track. So we'll do it on the guest and on the host. And now let's look at our levels.
And we're often number 1 and Evil A.
Right up there at the top, and the same.
That's number 1.
Same there on the host track. So speech volume leveler will do that for you, but it's not doing much for this background noise that's getting really dragged up. And in order to eliminate that, it's simple. You just click Dynamics and Denoise in the effects rack of your host and your guest, and then...
And we're often number 1 and Evil A on Oahu.
There we go. How amazing is that? Background noise completely gone.
That's number one.
Yeah.
So this is exactly how you can use the Pro Podcast presets to easily reduce background noise, get the speech to the same level, and just generally make your podcast sound good. Over into Shift and 2 on our keyboard, Shift and 2 to get these fixed tracks up, and you can do all kinds of things. So you can fix background noise. For instance, if we were to drag in our guest here, and first of all, we'll listen to it as it is normally. There's that background noise up to minus 48 dB. But in the background noise fix track, let's pop this open and have a listen.
And we're off.
Look at that. There is absolutely no background noise there at all. So you've got speech going on,
Design.
but absolutely nothing going on with the background noise. Let's delete these tracks and go back and just have one more big listen here. So again, bringing this in to fix the background noise. Let's go to somewhere with a lot of silence. Absolutely nothing there. So that's what your fixed tracks will do. You've also got tracks for a Zoom call, a Skype call. Did want to show you the internal mic track as well. It's pretty cool. I can start a new recording, and actually let's change my audio input to be my built-in microphone so you can see how this would work. Click OK to that. Brand new file. And hello, this is me. This is me recording on an internal microphone on my computer. Okay, let's clip that down, trim that. And first of all, we will open up the spectral frequency display so we can really see things here. You can see background noise and generally... This is me recording on an internal microphone on my computer. Not sounding too good. But when we drag this into the fixed internal mic track, let's pop that open and let's have a little listen. This is me recording on an internal microphone on my computer. So obviously it cannot make the internal mic sound that much better, but we can boost a few frequencies and we can eliminate background noise. Mixing this session down will now give you the example here of a fantastic sounding internal microphone. Well, at least as good as we can get it. Let's just mix down the selection here so it doesn't mix down for ages for all of our podcast here. And you can see here, clean here in spectral frequency display. Absolutely fantastic. So other things you can do, you can put intros and outros in here, and we can go back actually. Let's go back to view number 1. Let's bring in some of our podcast host. Let's bring in this over here. This is me speaking. Hello, this is Mike Russell with a test podcast in the Pro Podcast Presets version 3.0. And then we can bring our advanced view up. So let's go Shift and 5 to get that. And we can bring in some music. So let's go to our media browser. This is pretty good. Let's use this as our podcast intro. And then, hello, this is Mike Russell with a test podcast in the Pro Podcast Presets version 3.0. You notice the music's quite loud, but if I drag it down here to the podcast music track, listen to what it does. Hello, this is Mike Russell with a test podcast. It automatically ducks the music so you can hear exactly what is being said by the podcast host, which is a pretty handy feature. You've also got a track here for sound effects. And something I'm really excited to show you are these new tracks available in the advanced view mode when you hit Shift and 5. Look at this. We have our 3 most popular microphones. We did a survey and these are the mics that came up. If you'd like to see your mic included, if it's not included in this current version, do let me know and we'll do our best to include it in the future. But for now, there are EQ curves included for the Shure SM7B, EQ and compression there, the blue Yeti microphone, and also the Heil PR-40. So if those are your microphones, drag your podcast into one of these tracks and have it sounding great for that particular microphone that you're using. This is an overview video of everything you can find in the brand new Pro Podcast Presets version 3.0. I really hope you enjoy using them.
musicradiocreative.com